Ever wondered what makes TV so powerful in Jamaica? Time to find out. Welcome to Global TV Group 358, where television meets innovation. We're not just about shows, we're about shaping society. In Jamaica, TV keeps you informed, connects diverse voices, and supports democracy. Imagine a Jamaica where broadcasters unite, sharing data and collaborating globally. That's us, a unified voice in the TV industry. Did you know TV advertising is still king? It drives website traffic, boosts brand equity, and powers integrated campaigns. Even in an age of digital, TV stands strong, resilient in tough times. Our Global TV Deck is your treasure trove of insights and data. With charts, graphs, and success stories, it's your guide to impactful TV advertising. Curious to learn more? Visit our website and see how Global TV Group 358 keeps television at the heart of entertainment in Jamaica. Get ready to binge watch the future.
Put me again, you can't put me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. Can't buy skin and we can't buy time. You can't put me again. Can't put me again. You can't put me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. You touch up line and a resort to crime. You can't put me again.
What we gonna eat no money, what we at you, eat no at you. Covid money, miss away in the year, look rat you. Use the youth, the money, waste my must have man to statue. Say me like a catch you, but me got enough, they got you. Take this script of money, God and say that is not you. One day the man above him up, him a got up. Too much eating at the kitchen, some a fly by like a patu. When singers and DJs and social media's coming at you.
It burn me,
300% raise.
it burn me,
Garbage pile up the day.
it burn me,
Give the teacher them
it
raise.
burn me,
I see corruption peace.
it burn me,
Mash down the people them house.
it burn me,
Every day appear arms out.
it burn me,
Appear money them a thief.
it burn me.
And them a sell out the beach.
Can't put me again. You can't put me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. Can't buy skin and we can't buy time. You can't put me again. Can't put me again. You can't put me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. You touch up line and a resort to crime. You can't put me again.
For me say big up all the charities and all of the givers. Some a go like say them powerful, me know me got bigger. The 100 promises, none of them not deliver. Cut up the youth, they rap and they down in our fever. Member bowl money and they lie them tell. Corruption smell and they pocket them swell. When police don't a market like Satan out of hell, go mash up people start like people themselves.
It burn me,
Or they treat the market man.
it burn me,
Or them a treat the cat man.
it burn me,
Or them treat the peanut man.
it burn me,
Or them a treat the dirt man.
it burn me,
Or them a treat the son man.
it burn me,
Or them a treat policeman.
it burn me,
How them a treat soldier man.
it burn me.
How them a treat everyone.
Can't put me again. You can't put me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. Can't buy skin and we can't buy time. You can't put me again. Can't put me again.
Stevie dim day. We in Global TV says certain kind of friend we no cape. And some informer friend we love lake. We in Global, bona fake friend and bona tape. We in Global, we not promote them, we not support them. Look at them and she come here represent for. We in Global TV. Check it.
Good morning, and welcome. Is my thing working? Yes, it looked like it is working. Morning. It is the morning after the budget, and I'm left probably even more confused than before the budget was read. But I have a greater concern than the budget, I know a lot of you don't like the international politics of things, but boy, when you all drop into the hot water of it, it's going to be, I wish I was paying attention. We ought to pay attention to what's going on in the geopolitical world at the moment, particularly the rant of Donald Trump, the Cuban exploitation argument, the Cuban sanction, which he wants to ratchet up. I am of great concern that once again, Jamaicans might just be left behind because our leaders have no balls in addressing the issue, one, and two, the people are divided on the issue. It's a labor right or PNP issue, but we will waddle on into that later on, and we will look at favor. You may be asking why those numbers are up on the screen. I don't know. I don't have an understanding of the tax threshold. Me just see the number, me like put up number on screen because I don't understand it. Because sometimes I hear about 1.5. No, I hear, and on a north number, if I don't know me, I know I'm a qualified dunce. Anything to do with number. So, I'm not going to get too deep into Favor's number this morning. There's just a few number issue I want to address. Will not address the minister's no tax argument this morning. Cannot no gossip. Nothing don't gossip. The reason they keep telling us that them don't raise tax. Nothing don't gossip. So many people are going at the argument. Because when uno claim someone in raise tax, uno friend them raise the price of things and therefore we pay more tax on them. The whole on the work together. So you see that tax argument they want to say with no new, me not quarrel with them about it. Remember me dunce? The minister son dunce. So it would be bad to have two dunce flushing it out. You might never get a resolve out. So me now go trouble no. What do I say? No new tax. But me now go believe on. That's the simple part of the tax between me and your minister. You can say it. It may go so. It may not go so. But me know say it don't go so. So me now go believe it. Alright? To my community of party and all my family members, platform moderators, membership holders, via subscribers, commenters, and trolls, good morning. If you all understand what the minister was speaking about yesterday, some of you can enlighten me when it comes to the number and the gives and gots and gottens, and you are in the budget, you are in the budget, you are in the budget. RJ, good morning. Sharon Bernard, Wayne Evans. Good morning, Marcia Thomas, the Unstoppable One, and Marcia Esther. Good morning, Miranda Rodder, Beat and Teach. Wow, one. Ladybug, good morning. Jamrock 8766. Good morning. Good morning. Debbie Jervis TV, good morning. Good morning. Carlene Brown, good morning. Wayne Evans, good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Like and share the live, please. TikTok, good morning, Carlene. And Colleen, rather, good morning. Michelle, Kathy Reed, Debbie Duncan, good morning, everyone. And welcome. Me don't understand half our favor they say yesterday. You go understand, she say you in the budget, and you in the budget. But my concern is a few giveaway, as they say, now trouble the tax because I don't know. I mean, understand number. But this is Cousin Myrna, Wagwan. This is one of the giveaway how much square now. So this is 4,000, 4 times 6. 4 times 6 are how much? 24 or something? Oh God, I might look on the embarrassment. I don't know, I can't check. But when I check 6 fours, isn't it? I saw it go. Or 4 6 is the same as 6 4. I don't know. But I was expecting some form of substantial or tangible rather giveaway. 24. 24,000 favor. 24,000. I mean, when you not go stop insult we, when you remember say, oh, you're not thief in 1,000, you know. Politicians do not steal in thousands, billions and millions and billions. And when you look at big old away, and tell me that if 20,000 of us, the first 20,000 out of say 2 million of us, sign up for the JPS Bruhamalaki prepaid, 4,000 for 6 months, you will receive 4,000 6-month credit. We know how the credit system works. It works in England, yeah. So the credit system, with the prepaid system in electricity and gas, them drink water. Them drink oil like America. So the same 24,000 also over the 6 months. I mean, what an insult. Why don't incentivize or give people grant for solar panel? If you don't want to take the burden out of them pocket and put back some, you know, say they done, you know. You know, say anytime you say past 10, once you count past 10, you know me not utter confusion. So that's why we can't trouble much of the minister numbers this morning. But this year one year, never too hard a maths. It was an insult. You should talk about one another, the 20,000 gallon with a tax give back or what. You know how insulting that is. The most confusing thing, ask any Jamaicans who do our weekly, weekend shopping or monthly shopping. Not even say the monthly one, the ones that shopping on a weekly basis. Ask them how confusing it is to go into a supermarket with $20,000 on the weekend. And go on, like I said, $20,000 and anything for people jump hurrah, mirror. What is wrong with these people who continue to insult us under the name of government giveaway and we care, this government love the poor? I mean, it's an insult, minister. I know you never understand what you're reading. It was evident favor because if said a dance, if a dance in the day you see the favor and you are play on the turntable, Shandy Buckle after Shandy Buckle yesterday, Favor Williams, Shandy Buckle after Shandy Buckle yesterday, because nobody never want to turn up and listen to them scratch record. I don't know, say me don't So I don't understand much of what happened yesterday. But the minister can't read. Me not tell no lie. Me, we're dunce when me say number. Me would have do better than the prime minister. And than the minister of finance. It was. Oh God. And she did minister education where teacher picking them for read. When you see the crisis of the country, if the former minister of education cannot read to save her life, or cannot read for the country to understand, when you realize where we're there and where we are going. Favor, your performance yesterday was dismal. And I told you yesterday and earlier, it might as well they gave her a bullet point budget. But when you listen to her budget presentation, you know it was a bullet point budget because they know Favor couldn't cross the plethora of like the Tisha getting our partner jaw. Madam Speaker, this is a caring government. The oomph was missing, Miss Favor. The it factor was missing. The political factor was missing, even though it was a politically charged budget, Miss Williams, an election campaign of buying KFC and a shirt with $5,000, Miss Williams. That's all I heard. Because these little, me say, Lady of the Night from Box Street, Portmore. You know the one with the twist up hair, she there. Me see she run out and I talk about JPS give up. We have been always told about the JPS NWC and not new. It is not new. Don't keep confronting me over the same thing over. It's not new. It is not new. So don't run around and make it sound like we're going to give discount in this and that.
I can't hear you, Minister. Minister, you may have another sip of water.
You may have a sip of water, too.
You may have another sip of water, Minister.
Speaker,
I can't hear you, Minister. Minister, you may have another sip of water.
Speaker. Yes.
You may have another sip of water, Minister.
Speaker.
I can't hear you, Minister.
I can't hear you, Minister. Blake Wagwan, Kevin Thomas, Kathy Reed. I can't hear you, Minister. How? One of these settings keep knocking me out of the studio. Thank you very much, Ladybug. Thank you very much. Renice Nicholson, Joan, and J. Joan Hamilton Wilson. I think the sound is back now. Drink some water, Minister. Out of petrol, Minister. I'm still left not understanding. It was a political charge budget, but I was expecting in an election year something for the people. I don't know if I understand what I heard when it comes to public sector pay, especially for the nurses, doctors, and teachers, and all these people. I'm really not sure if I really understand. Really not sure. Did not tell no lie. Me confused by favoral budget because you could see yesterday that Faval didn't understand what he was saying. Morning, Max Romeo. How are you? Beat and Teach, welcome to TikTok. Me not understand, but the giveaway, the $24,000 to the first 20 people who sign up to the prepaid, out of how much a million are we, sir, ma'am? And you would think that's a worthwhile giveaway or incentivization for people who come onto the prepaid project. I mean, let's face it, Minister. A lot of the people who steal electricity, them hosts already wired. The problem is, Miss Williams, the extortionate electricity bill is what they can't manage. So you find those people end up stealing. If you depend the prepaid and the prepaid worker drink credit like it thirsty, Miss Williams, we are going to be back at stage one where people are going to steal current. What we need, though, is competition in the market. Radcliffe, morning. We need more competition in the market. As to why on our punish we and stifle we from going solo in our country where sunshine night and day is a cause for concern. Because the big people them will make the money out of selling with electricity. Them are going to make all heap of less money and poor people are going to save money in them pocket. That's why we don't keep telling we all the while about discount. We don't need electricity discount. We need a better direction. We need clean energy for one, and we need affordable energy. We need competition in the market. If government don't think we ought to go the solar panel direction, then bring in investors in the market we can compete with a JPS that is there to continue the suppression. JPS has not worked for Jamaica people. It has not. It is not working. It is why a lot of ice house them across Jamaica shut down because them can't pay the bill. I mean, I don't know why them people that will build ice house can't invest in a solar panel. There's a backward thinking in Jamaica say, we have to just do what we know. This is our failure. They do what we know, stick to what we know, and I'm going to come on to Jamaicans on a whole on this level. Because I noticed Jamaica people in the new American and Cuba war were involved. The Donald Trump war on everybody. What I'm hearing from Jamaica as a country and a people, remittance, barrels, visa, and tourism capital. I'm going to address them one by one. Barrel. We have been getting barrel from the United States forever from family. Show me how that barrel helped to lift Jamaica people out of poverty when that barrel can barely feed one community or a family when it comes. Remittances. If Donald Trump and Keir Starmer send home the whole of it today, how Jamaica have a hold up with remittances, visas. Our visas benefit the American economy than it benefit the Jamaica economy. Yes, it may benefit Jamaica people on a one-to-one basis. It provides with certain opportunity that wouldn't have been provided for us in Jamaica otherwise. But the benefit of the knowledge that goes to the American economy, America win this one. It's disgraceful, Jamaica, to hear now go on, like I say, tourists, the tourism dollar is any benefit to Jamaica. Say I said not one dime of it. The tourist dollar, the majority of the tourist dollar never touch the Jamaican economy. It's because we ups and we push up while we think to say white people coming for us to serve them is an achievement, you low-class people of Jamaica. You think it's an achievement. But the people who own the airline are the same Europeans that based in Europe or America. The flight money never touched the Jamaican economy. In that sense, if you understand it, the money that you book for these all-inclusive hotel never touch the Jamaican system. So when you run around every day and talk about the glory of tourism to Jamaica, Jamaica, the minuscule of what Jamaica, the foreign exchange Jamaica benefit from the tourist dollar is the little food and beverage. The little food and beverage that we sell to the tourists. And that we rely upon food and beverage money. Because the major part of the tourist industry, that money do not touch our country, does not touch our economy. Because the ticket them and the flight them and all of them something they book abroad in American or foreign dollars. The little food and beverage or the little rent a car where people may rent when them come to Jamaica. The salary for those in the hotel industry, in the tourism industry. Jamaicans are on the minuscule salary level. You understand? Jamaicans don't in the middle and top management in these industries if you're bringing a big salary in our country. So all I want to hang on to America for Jamaica is a begging bowl because we're lazy. You see the reason why we're going to left behind again? There's not one man in Jamaica today. Not one. PNP, Labour, independent religion. Not one that have the balls to stand up and claim the leadership over our country that Abraham Traore did in order to move the country. Not one. None of them. No Jamaican man have that balls. None of you. You all are visa mad. You all are up the US anti-crazy. And this is why Jamaica is going to be horribly left behind. And you see when the worst come Jamaica, the whole way I go walla in a hit together because it is quite clear that Jamaica don't want good. The people of Jamaica don't want good. The people of Jamaica is willing to hold on to a dying US. The people of Jamaica wants to run around and say all bad things about China, but not about what your leaders are doing. We're not stop focused on China. China and the BRICS is the only help that will give Jamaica meaningful development. All of you who are stuck to Europe and America visa, continue, because slavery is the direction. Slavery is tied to your visa. We will never develop unless we cut the JLP and PNP politics, hold we leader them to account, and make we leader them make decision. Make we leader them make decision that will benefit us. You see the change in world power. And I see most Jamaicans are hinging to hold on to a US visa in order to sacrifice the development of our country. We're not going nowhere. We're not going anywhere as a people. But let Donald Trump tell you his side of it, then we're going to tell you the BRICS side of it. Where is this? Hold on, Malarkey.
Therefore, effective immediately, I am canceling the last administration's completely one-sided deal with Cuba. Our new policy begins with strictly enforcing U.S. law.
For decades, Cuba has quietly come to the rescue of Jamaica's healthcare system. In a country where hospitals are overwhelmed and the shortage of doctors is a constant challenge, Cuban doctors have been filling the gap and providing critical medical care to Jamaicans. But the truth is, without the Cuban doctors, the Jamaican healthcare system would struggle to survive. Jamaica has a long history of challenges in the medical sector. The public healthcare system is underfunded, overcrowded, and constantly grappling with shortages of medical professionals. The country's medical schools are not producing enough graduates to meet the demand, and many doctors choose to leave the island for better opportunities abroad. This has left public hospitals in a perpetual state of crisis. For years, Cuban doctors have been a lifeline for Jamaica's medical system. Over 100 Cuban doctors have been working in Jamaica's hospitals, providing much-needed specialized care in fields like surgery, pediatrics, and cardiology, and rural areas where their services are most needed, and the Jamaican public has come to rely on their expertise, particularly in remote communities where access to healthcare is limited. The US government is stepping in with a threat that could shatter the foundation of Jamaica's healthcare system. If Jamaica continues to accept Cuban doctors, the US has made it clear that it will impose severe economic sanctions and other diplomatic consequences. The US is accusing Cuba of using its doctors to further its political agenda, and the US demands that Jamaica sever ties with Cuban medical professionals or face the consequences. The US argument is rooted in its decades-long hostility towards Cuba, stemming from the Cuban Revolution and the rise of Fidel Castro's communist regime.
Gone throughout the world since the end of World War II, this one in Cuba holds no special honors or distinctions. The revolutions have gone until this one. The Cuban Revolution is very special. It's very special for several reasons, and all of them are pretty much a mystery to this fellow, John Q. American here, who is particularly wrapped up in that Cuban Revolution. He doesn't really understand what happened in Cuba back in January of 1959. Despite the fact that no other person on this planet has a greater number or a variety of ways to read about, hear about, see about, and know about things, the tons of newsprint that he's read through and the untold hours of airtime that he's listened through about turmoil and unrest and revolutions everywhere around him for years
Will not lift sanctions on the Cuban regime until all political prisoners are freed. Freedoms of assembly and expression.
As part of its policy to isolate Cuba economically and politically, the US has made it difficult for many countries to do business with Cuba, including in the healthcare sector. The US sees the deployment of Cuban doctors as a way for the Cuban government to exert influence over other nations, and they're determined to stop it, even if that means putting Jamaican lives at risk. So what does this mean for Jamaica? If the Jamaican government caves to US pressure and removes Cuban doctors from its hospitals, the country faces a devastating loss of medical professionals at a time when it can least afford it. For many Jamaicans, this will mean longer wait times for medical procedures, fewer specialists available, and potentially higher death rates from treatable conditions. The truth is, Jamaica is caught in the middle of a geopolitical battle between two superpowers, the US and Cuba. While Jamaica is a close ally of the US and depends heavily on US trade and support, it also has historical ties with Cuba, especially in the area of healthcare. It's a delicate balance. Jamaica's government must weigh the economic and diplomatic benefits of maintaining a good relationship with the US against the real and pressing need for Cuban doctors. The US has long been a source of funding for Jamaican programs, including healthcare, but that funding comes with strings attached. The latest threat is just another example of the US using its economic power to influence Jamaica's foreign policy and healthcare decisions. But here's the question. What is the value of a relationship with a country that is willing to let Jamaicans suffer in order to make a political point? If the US pushes Jamaica to end its cooperation with Cuba, how will the Jamaican government respond to the pressure, knowing that thousands of lives could be at risk? Jamaica's healthcare system on the brink. What will happen if Cuba's doctors are sent home? If Cuban doctors are sent home, the consequences for Jamaica's healthcare system could be dire. Public hospitals, which are already struggling with overcrowding and understaffing, would face an even greater crisis. Patients would be left with fewer doctors, fewer specialists, and longer wait times for life-saving treatments. The country's medical infrastructure is fragile, and many Jamaicans rely on Cuban doctors to receive critical care. These doctors are not just filling the gaps, they're saving lives every day. Without them, the Jamaican healthcare system could collapse under the pressure. In addition to the medical crisis, there are economic implications. Jamaican hospitals would have to spend millions of dollars to recruit foreign doctors to replace the Cuban ones. This would put even more strain on an already overburdened healthcare budget, diverting resources away from other vital services like education and social programs. The human cost of this political battle cannot be ignored. Thousands of Jamaicans, particularly those in rural and underserved areas, rely on Cuban doctors for their healthcare needs. Many of these patients have no other option for specialized care, and without Cuban doctors, their chances of survival are significantly diminished. Jamaicans know the value of these Cuban medical professionals. They've witnessed firsthand the impact that these doctors have had on their health and well-being. Losing them would not only be a blow to the healthcare system, but also a betrayal of the trust that Jamaicans have placed in their government. The future of Jamaica's healthcare, a choice between political pressure and public health. The Jamaican government now faces an incredibly difficult decision. Does it bow to US pressure and risk the health and well-being of its citizens? Or does it stand firm in defense of its right to choose its healthcare partners? The answer is not simple. Jamaica's relationship with the US is crucial for economic stability, but so too is the need to protect the health of the Jamaican people. But now, the government's decision will shape the future of the country's healthcare system. As Jamaicans, we must ask ourselves, are we willing to risk our health for political gain?
If you're someone who follows global TV since we've been in this space, you would be aware that I have been always telling you, and those who are globalists knows this, that Jamaica is locked into a geopolitical warfare which will come full scale in the near future. It is here. And it takes leadership as well as the political and geopolitical education of the people to understand where we are at as a country and the implications, the decision we make, and the direction we go into. If you want to fantasize how great the US and Jamaica relationship has been, fantasize about it. If you want to commiserate life that China is here to steal, kill, and fantasize anything you want to do. But what I am saying to you here today on Global TV, if we take the direction the United States, the oil-drinking, murderous, genocidal beast of this planet, wants to drive us into, all we have to do, Jamaica, is build more cemeteries. It is simple. It is not rocket science. If the United States, the murderer, the baby killing United States, the bomb dropping, oil drinking United States of America, that has no moral to make no human pronouncement, no pronouncement at all on this planet, based on the history of America, the development that China is bringing to the world, America will never get there. I'll tell you why. Because America has used science to advance war and biological, conventional and biological warfare. That's what America has done with science. Therefore, it is why America has died a horrible death. All right? So it is quite simple. If we want to be pushed into the direction, the bloodbath that America wants us, go comfortably, Jamaica people and Jamaica politicians. All you have to do is just build more cemeteries. It is really not simple. I mean, I go sit down and quarrel with anyone for say what America is doing to you all is to kill more of you rather than assist more of you. Build more cemeteries. Simple. It's not rocket science. Let's look at why Jamaica and some Caribbean countries, not all, but Jamaica, who claim to be leadership of the Caribbean, we have the big voice, we have the big economy, we have the biggest mouth of bullshit in the Caribbean. Because leadership, where our leaders are leading on their knees, talking about leadership. Let's look at why Jamaica will be left behind.
What if we tell you that BRICS is trying to create a modern Europe and Africa that will be 6 times more magnificent and more developed than modern-day Europe? Well, you won't believe it until you know how much BRICS has announced that it will invest in Africa. After World War II, the U.S. invested an amount equal to $150 billion of today's money to reconstruct Europe. Compared to this, BRICS and especially China have announced to invest over $800 billion in Africa. That's nearly 6 times higher than what it costs to reconstruct Europe. But how will this money be used, and what do BRICS actually want to do with Africa and get in return? In this video, let's know BRICS' strategy about Africa so you know what will be happening with Africa in the next few years. Let's get started. Africa's relationship with BRICS marks a historic turning point as the bloc seeks to reshape global economic frameworks and challenge decades of Western dominance. To understand why this shift is so significant, it's essential to consider both the historical context and the transformative potential that BRICS brings to Africa's future. We know that Africa's economic struggles cannot be separated from its colonial past and the subsequent policies imposed by Western financial institutions. During the 1980s, institutions like the International Monetary Fund and World Bank implemented structural adjustment programs that devastated African economies. These programs forced nations to devalue their currencies, remove subsidies, privatize critical industries, and open markets to international competition before their economies were ready. The result was predictable. Local industries collapsed, unemployment soared, and poverty deepened. The effects of these policies linger to this day, leaving many African nations wary of Western-style development assistance. But the injury has already been done. Those structural adjustment programs ensured African economies could not get out of the structural failures encoded in the IMF-imposed system. Therefore, it's no surprise to see that whenever African countries want to get rid of Western financial order, their economies start to collapse. However, in this context, BRICS offers a refreshing alternative. Unlike Western institutions, BRICS emphasizes partnership, mutual respect, and a focus on infrastructure and industrialization. A prime example of this approach is the Tanzania Standard Gauge Railway project, which connects multiple African countries, including Kenya, Rwanda, Ethiopia, and the DRC. Unlike the piecemeal projects often funded by the West, this multi-country initiative shows a vision of regional integration and long-term economic development. Such projects address one of Africa's most significant barriers to growth: fragmented markets and poor connectivity between nations. However, BRICS's vision for Africa extends beyond infrastructure. The bloc
Keith, I saw them tan bad. My audience don't like education. My audience do not support education. Let me tell you what I want the political charge vlogging. I want the passa and the entertainment. 6 years of last school, me not so done. I know that me out here for. This is why I don't support my program, because I want somebody politically charged and a vlog for a particular political party, or I want somebody for skin out, back out, grin out, and a take down and a all sort. Me, listen here. You can't force me to be dunce. Me dunce enough when it come to counting. You not go take what talking for me. You understand? So me know why you don't want to support my program, because me no PNP, me no JLP, and me no passa. Me do 6 years last school and me learn something. You understand? That's why I'm not out here as a vlogger. I'm out here as a journalist. Ask Dion Jackson Miller. It's one of the things that we're qualified to do after finishing law school, to pursue a career in journalism. That's what I don't like. That's what I can't and I'm not change about you. Thank you all for watching. All right?
Recognizes the continent's potential as a future manufacturing powerhouse. With 60% of the world's arable land, vast mineral resources, and a growing young workforce, Africa is uniquely positioned to lead the next wave of global industrialization. However, this potential...
When I mix up, they want to say, pull up education this morning.
What if we tell you that BRICS is trying to create a modern Europe in Africa that will be 6 times more magnificent and more developed than modern-day Europe? Well, you won't believe it until you know how much BRICS has announced that it will invest in Africa. After World War II, the U.S. invested an amount equal to $150 billion of today's money to reconstruct Europe. Compared to this, BRICS and especially China have announced to invest over $800 billion in Africa. That's nearly 6 times higher than what it cost to reconstruct Europe. But how will this money be used, and what do BRICS actually want to do with Africa and get in return? In this video, let's know BRICS' strategy about Africa so you know what will be happening with Africa in the next few years. Let's get started. Africa's relationship with BRICS marks a historic turning point as the bloc seeks to reshape global economic frameworks and challenge decades of Western dominance. To understand why this shift is so significant, it's essential to consider both the historical context and the transformative potential that BRICS brings to Africa's future. We know that Africa's economic struggles cannot be separated from its colonial past and the subsequent policies imposed by Western financial institutions. During the 1980s, institutions like the International Monetary Fund and World Bank implemented structural adjustment programs that devastated African economies. These programs forced nations to devalue their currencies, remove subsidies, privatize critical industries, and open markets to international competition before their economies were ready. The result was predictable. Local industries collapsed, unemployment soared, and poverty deepened. The effects of these policies linger to this day, leaving many African nations wary of Western-style development assistance. But the injury has already been done. Those structural adjustment programs ensured African economies could not get out of the structural failures encoded in the IMF-imposed system. Therefore, it's no surprise to see that whenever African countries want to get rid of Western financial order, their economies start to collapse. However, in this context, BRICS offers a refreshing alternative. Unlike Western institutions, BRICS emphasizes partnership, mutual respect, and a focus on infrastructure and industrialization. A prime example of this approach is the Tanzania Standard Gauge Railway project, which connects multiple African countries, including Kenya, Rwanda, Ethiopia, and the DRC. Unlike the piecemeal projects often funded by the West, this multi-country initiative shows a vision of regional integration and long-term economic development. Such projects address one of Africa's most significant barriers to growth: fragmented markets and poor connectivity between nations. However, BRICS' vision for Africa extends beyond infrastructure. The bloc recognizes the continent's potential as a future manufacturing powerhouse. With 60% of the world's arable land, vast mineral resources, and a growing young workforce, Africa is uniquely positioned to lead the next wave of global industrialization. However, this potential has remained largely untapped due to inadequate infrastructure, lack of access to capital, and a historical over-reliance on exporting raw materials rather than developing value-added industries. One of the most groundbreaking aspects of BRICS' engagement is its challenge to the global financial system. For decades, African nations have relied on the US dollar for international trade, making them vulnerable to currency fluctuations and restrictive fiscal policies dictated by the West. BRICS aims to create alternatives, such as a new reserve currency or direct trade using local currencies. This shift reduces dependency on Western-controlled systems like SWIFT and enables African countries to retain more wealth within their economies. A critical area where BRICS is driving change is in manufacturing. The Dangote oil refinery in Nigeria serves as a case study for the transformative potential of local industrialization. Despite being a major oil producer, Nigeria has historically imported most of its refined petroleum, draining resources and increasing costs for consumers. Dangote's refinery, supported in part by international partnerships, has disrupted this pattern, creating jobs, reducing import dependency, and boosting local economic activity. This model can be replicated across other industries in Africa, particularly those reliant on imports, such as pharmaceuticals, textiles, and agricultural machinery. Countries producing raw materials can be industrialized to not only fulfill local demands but also increase exports. BRICS's focus on regional value chains further highlights its understanding of Africa's unique challenges and opportunities. Africa's economic future lies not in 54 fragmented markets, but in a unified continental market of over 1.4 billion people. By investing in infrastructure that connects countries and facilitates trade, BRICS is laying the groundwork for a more integrated and competitive Africa. This approach aligns with the African Continental Free Trade Area, which aims to create a single market for goods and services across the continent. But what does BRICS want in return? What if we tell you that BRICS is trying to create a modern Europe and Africa that
The reason why Jamaica is going to be left behind is because we're a nation of beggars. We're a nation of people without ambition. We're a nation of people who rely on handouts. We're a nation of people who think that if my friend has money, I rather stick with my money friend and ignore what I deem as the poor man, even though the poor man may be more interested in peace, even though the poor man may be interested in societal development with respect for all. We as a country are prepared to choose America once again. America who only continuously have its foot on our neck by the way of the IMF, the World Bank, the WHO, the WTO, on the UN, the UNICEF, all the acronyms of the International American Organization. Because you're all misguided by all these organizations in New York or Geneva or wherever they are, that they're international organization. You ought to be of the understanding that these are American international organizations that are used by the state of America to meddle and control other countries' politics. And that's where we think our development best lies. Our development best lies in waiting. Why have I been flogged? Personal information repeated. Did I put out any personal information? TikTok, I don't know. But we have not achieved the development with a Western alliance with Europe and America. They have not allowed us to pursue our dreams and our ambition as countries. Their money is always tied to their policy. Therefore, our leaders cannot implement policies that will drive progression and development in our country. Since World War II, and America has set the world how they want it to work, no country has ever met meaningful development under this bastardization of democracy, that which is tainted in blood. Democracy likes to drink oil. Democracy likes to dig for gold and diamond. Democracy like cheap labor. Democracy like killings. That's what democracy loves. None of these countries who break away. You cannot break up. If you break away with democracy, as India says they are a so-called democracy, you still have to use nuclear weapon. So it's either you use nuclear as a breakaway from the coffers of America, or you use a tough-headed Shen, how are you? You use a tough-headed socialist approach like that of China and others who have said we are not going to be subservient to democracy. We're not going to be manhandled by democracy, or progress will not be stifled by democracy and capitalism. Because democracy and capitalism is only for the 100%, the 1% rather, of those who control the rest of the world wealth. That's all that democracy means. If there was any truth about democracy, democracy wouldn't have to shed blood for you to accept it. But we want democracy. Whose democracy? Whose democracy are you talking about? Show me what we have benefited from democracy. Democracy is about division. Democracy is about division. Democracy provides no unified voice. Look at Abraham Chore on his socialism drive. It provides a unified voice. That's why when he wanted to step down, the nation says no. Look at Gonzalez. 24 years going 25. Because he's not sticking up two fingers to socialism. Because it's through socialism you're going to share the wealth with the people. Democracy, democracy. What have we benefited from democracy, democracy? What have we benefited from democracy? Bloodshed, disease, bullets, you name it. But we want to go down with America once again. We want America to tell us that their visa, broad pocket, big mouth without Japan and China, the American economy couldn't even feed their people. Big mouth, broad pocket America wants to tell us what decision to make on our health. And our body washing licking of leaders are quite comfortable to go ahead with an American agenda that put our health at risk, stifle the expertise and development that our healthcare gets from the partnership with Cuba. This is where the people of Jamaica wants to go. My advice, build more cemeteries. It's not rocket science. If you're going to roll back something that benefits your people's health, because America said, oh, my feelings are hurt, I'm petulant and I'm petrified, roll it back. Then all you have to do is build more cemeteries. It's not rocket science. If the people of Jamaica can benefit, the Parliament packet will benefit. The rum seller packet will benefit. The goat thief them will benefit. The honest goat seller and chicken seller will benefit. Decide where you want to go. Do you want to go to hell in a handcart? Or do you want to look for a different direction? Because that is where America is really taking the world. It's the journey America has had the world on for 7-8 decades now. On the way to hell in a handcart. Russia and China don't waste them time going around dropping bombs on people to control them, or spending billions and trillions of dollars to drive a particular agenda in their country. If you want to go to hell with the US, please do. But once you take the journey to hell, don't come back and go on like you don't know say when you're taking a journey to hell. The US is not here for any development. The US is here to research war and disease and export them. Just like how when the British had their empire, they export slavery, racism, and all that. Them now go do good, them never born for do good. So if you don't want to follow them, go on, but don't draw away we don't know. We will wake up, we know say Africa the thing is at. And that we are look towards. Uno can stay and Uno can hold on a visa and flash it and say, look at us, we have US visa and we're living in democracy tainted by blood. That's how we get out of democracy, you know, blood and gore. Show me, other than blood and gore, what you've all gotten out of democracy. Democracy, democracy, democracy. Human rights, human rights. Which human rights, America? Huh? Human rights, democracy, human rights. Where is it, America? Where and what time in history has America showed this world that they have respect for human rights? I beg America to come and remind us. Where in history America shows us that they protect human rights? This bomb dropping, gold digging, oil drinking America, bauxite nyamming America. Human rights, democracy. Democracy, America, that does not believe in anyone who does not believe in democracy. I will bomb you into acceptance of democracy. Human rights activists, though they say they are, they're willing to kill billions for you to accept this bullshit of democracy, democracy. Whose democracy? Whose human rights? America, who cannot even protect the human rights of those on its soil, is going around the world talking about human rights, human rights. Follow them, Jamaica. Follow them. But when you get there, you stay there and you enjoy whatever una buck up pan. America has never done good in this world. America has never done good in this world. You may be of your opinion, America is the greatest thing that ever. America is the greatest thing that ever marched around this world, shedding blood in a modern era. That's what we got from America. Bloodshed, 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 disease, disease, disease. The biggest thing that America transport around this world is disease and weapon. When will America wake up and realize that we're all human? When will America come up into the human society? Because they're still behaving like animals. They're still, people are hungry on their street. People are dying on their street from drug addiction. But they're wasting billions killing people abroad. Democracy, democracy, the bullshit democracy. Carry on, Jamaica. Carry on. Bloodshed awaits you. Build more cemetery is my advice. On this bullshit of it. Democracy, America has not learned. It will not learn. It cannot do better. It's why America is falling. Because America has wasted its time in depraved barbarity. They have not learned. They have not woken up to realize that you can use science for proper human development rather than going around taking people's life every day. Democracy, democracy, democracy. What a load of bullshit. But as me said, create more cemetery spaces. All right? That's the direction of America. Create more cemetery spaces. Why do they want us to be there in America? You see, this is one of the problems with a population who lacks education. It is why even on the 70 years of embargo, the great Fidel Castro make sure no dunce no reside around here. It is why we have created failure in our education system. It's only how you can control the people. It is the only way the US propaganda will work on your people when them dunce and cuckoo and backwards and have no understanding of national or geographical politics. They have no understanding of systems of control, whether it be theocracy, democracy, authoritarianism, socialism, communism, whatever they have no understanding of those things. Our government keep them into that tunnel vision direction. If America doesn't agree with it, it's not right. That's the direction we're taking. If America does not agree with it, it's not right. We are on our way to hell in a handcart with the depraved, loonified barbarian of the United States. Thank you very much for being here this morning. No, go force me to be dunce around here. It is why Jamaica is going the way it is, because with politicians, they make sure say we stay dunce so they can control we. So when you hear educated argument, you get very irritable and why are you boring? So what if I'm fucking boring? So what? God's a baby morning. So what if I'm damn well boring? You're not going to wake up until it's too late. And when it's too late, there's not one damn thing you can do except for go along with what you cherish and choose. Thank you very much for being here this morning on the Global TV Group. Lovely to have your support. As always, join us back tonight for the people's point of view. I don't know if I'm going to do debate this evening. I'll see, if we're going to do I'll probably come back for the debate to ask questions this evening about what you understand of the budget and what you get from the budget, what you think you get, what you hear from Faisal. Well, we'll probably come back later on to ask those questions. Because honestly, it is true. When you come to budget in any country, it's not just Faisal. I will not understand. As long as it talk going about the whole friggery of numbers, Mandela's strength. Barney, how you do? As long as it go off on the waddle of the totally lost. So, who understand anything with Faisal, what happened yesterday, can't help me. But certainly, the part where they said the first 20 people for company P-Parade program will get 4,000 credit for 6 months. That part they irritate me, Miss Williams. That part they burn me because on a thing said $24,000 is any song and dance benefit or assistance or help to the Jamaica people, given that we have been waiting for the prosperity all this long. That part they had me, Miss Williams, because I'm with 20,000 people eligible for it, and I own 24,000, the 20,000, that part they had me. No one knows that itch me. The weather, you know, my weather, the air come now where be itching and fingering. But thank you all for being here this morning. Lovely to have your support as always. Join us back this evening where we will ask questions as to, did you get anything from the budget or did you understand the budget? Thank you. Good morning and good afternoon from Global TV.
If you don't like missing out on the latest shows but still enjoy classic hits, then Global TV Group 358 is your perfect match. Global TV Group 358 isn't just another channel, it's your ultimate TV experience. From breaking news to binge-worthy dramas and timeless classics, we've got it all. Our unique blend of original content and global favorites means there's something for everyone. And guess what? With GTVG's seamless streaming, you can watch anywhere, anytime. Plus, our interactive features let you be part of the action. So, whether you're a seasoned binge watcher or a casual viewer, Global TV Group 358 is here to keep you entertained day and night. Don't just watch TV, experience it with Global TV Group 358. Subscribe now and never miss a moment.